There you go. Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. Now, this weekend, the Texans ain't going to have such a hectic week as last week. They're just going to be hosting the Buffalo Bills this Sunday, the 2-3 Buffalo Bills, as a matter of fact. And so we'll get into all that. But first, I want to do a little quick recap us from Sunday's game and give my thoughts about it. So, first things first. Texans won 2 straight games, and I'm excited. I don't know why I'm so monotone about that, but yeah, after starting 0-3, they were able to win 2 straight in overtime, nonetheless. But listen, a win is a win, so I don't really judge on like how you actually get to that point. There's some things need to be worked on, but hey, as long as coaches are going to go for it on fourth down and fail against us, as long as Fairbairn can kick some field goals, I'm all right, man. We're going to have a good season. For real, for real. So, next thing, Texans are winning the right games. So everybody knows, look, everybody in Texans Nation, Texans, if you're a Texans fan, you know how big a game against the Dallas Cowboys is. It don't matter if, we're 0-15 one year and they're 15-0 another year. This is every time the Cowboys and Texans meet in the regular season, it's a big deal because the real players come out to play, man. Every year we get that preseason matchup, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to see, the backups go against the backups, fine, whatever. But that regular season matchup, when the stars come out to shine, yes, that is the game that, both fan bases are really looking forward to. Cowboys fans can front on you if they want, but they know what's up. So, yeah, Texans winning that game, that really sent a huge jolt through the fan base, and it's definitely showing some progress of, what this team is on its way to become. Last thing I want to talk about from Sunday's game, Hopkins catch, man. Like, come on, dog. Like, there's not outside of like the Texans affiliated outlets or just anybody talking about football that Sunday, nobody has really been talking about this catch throughout the entire week. This is one of the biggest. This is probably the best play of the weekend. Bro caught the ball, took it in for like 40 plus yards. With two spin moves, mind you. Like, who does a spin move these days? I don't even know if they do that on video games. Well, I'm old school. I still ain't got my PS4 yet, but that's neither here nor there. But still, man, that catch set us up to get the game-winning field goal. So definitely, big ups to the Texans on that. Big ups to DeAndre Hopkins on that. One of the best wide receivers in the league. So let's not ever forget that. Now, going on into some of the news items for this week. One of them being Deshaun Watson's potential chest injury. So, in Sunday's game, one of the things I was brought up by the analyst was that, Watson just appeared to be hurt. And, he did, wobble off to the sideline towards the end of the game. And so, yeah, look, people thought it was ribs. What it turned out to be an actual diagnosis was a chest injury. And so he was listed as questionable for like a little bit this week. And so I haven't checked the current injury update, but it appears, he might be good to go. There was a video of him like practicing. There was a video of him at practice that surfaced yesterday, and he was just, kind of running around, just getting a feel for things. So he looked like he's, going to be all right going into this. One thing I will say about that injury or potential injury or whatever it was, as far as going forward, the Texans just kind of need to watch out as far as they need to find better ways to protect Watson, not just with fixing the O-line up. And the reason I say that is like, listen, Watson, he's very, he's an athletic quarterback. He's a dual threat. He can throw and he can run. So, of course, the coaches are going to probably use his scrambling abilities to get some extra yards or, get a score or two. But with that being said, it's consequences with that, because defenses are going to treat him like a runner, and they probably got some extra hate in their heart because they see this quarterback just running off through the defensive unit like it's nothing. So the hits are probably going to be extra hard. With that being said, I'm no mastermind or guru on like what Watson can do to take care of his body to prepare for that, but I will say that the ability to protect him, that really kind of falls on the coaches with their play calling. So they can't just have him, put in. They just can't have him put in a lot of plays where it's like it's going to require him to run, whether it's like a route that might have him scramble to the sideline or just extra time, just kind of call something that you think he'll stay in the pocket for, that he can probably just save himself and only run when he needs to. So I mean, a quarterback sneak here or there, I mean, that's nothing. Brady does quarterback sneaks like every week, and so and everybody knows how athletic he is, but at the same time, with Watson, he's a very, very valuable piece to this offense. I think behind, the primary backup for him is Brandon Wheaton, and so if Watson ever should get injured, hopefully he doesn't. Wheaton would have to come in and take that spot, and it would just be the same thing. It would just be a situation similar to Tom Savage coming in last season when Watson got hurt. It was just when Savage came in to replace Watson, it was just two completely different offenses. Like, the offense just seemed to have stalled out, failed, whatever you want to call it. But the same thing with Whedon. I saw him in preseason. He looked pretty great. He looked like he could throw the ball pretty good. But I mean, and that'll help. Given the receivers that we have. But I mean, definitely, we want to do a better job of protecting Watson. So I mean, we can utilize his athleticism as far as the scrambling goes, but also make sure we're utilizing it the right way and not just sending them out there to get hits for no reason. Um, Next thing I want to touch on, as far as this week goes, the red zone troubles. So this past Sunday, man, it was just, the red zone just did not look good. I mean, that was just different plays being called, different decisions being made. I don't think we ran the ball that much on the red zone, and with all these troubles, being in the red zone, it just kind of leaves points on the board. I mean, yeah, we'll get a field goal or something out of it, but and for the most part, with the red zone, you want to get a touchdown. And yeah, I hear people say, "Oh, it gets tight in the red zone." Still, that's what you have. That's what you have running backs for. We do have we got a good stable of running backs. I believe. I believe Alfred Blue himself is a very capable running back of punching the ball in the end zone if you're like in a goal to goal situation, or if you're in a short yardage type of deal. He's definitely the perfect running back to do that. I believe he has the size to do that. Lamar Miller, not so much. I see him more as a speedster, and maybe once or twice we could probably get him in the go to go. As far as Miller goes, that's irrelevant because he was injured in last Sunday's game against the Cowboys. So I can see why they probably didn't want to. Maybe they didn't think Blue was the type of guy to actually go in there and get that going. But definitely, I would look into, I would try to look into having him punch that in. And I understand that Dallas, they have a good defense this year especially, and so they probably wasn't really trying to put Blue against. They probably didn't think Blue was able to win the battle against that defensive front. But I mean, look, man, scared money don't make no money, man. So you gotta go in there and just give it a shot and see what happens. Another thing about that game that kind of speaks to our red zone troubles is that we were 1 for 6 on red zone efficiency in that game. So, like I said, that's just leaving a lot of points on the board. The amount of 6 trips to the red zone, like we should have walked out with at least 3 touchdowns in the red zone. We should have walked out with like 4. Doesn't make sense to be kicking all those field goals. Um, I mean, field goals are cool, but at the same time, you want to win. You you got to win this game with touchdowns. If you want to win a big game like against the Cowboys, where everybody has their eyes on you, the country's watching you, the world is watching you, and you want to show them like this is what we're made of. We're not to be messed with. You got to score touchdowns, and so point blank and simple, it's easier to score a touchdown. 20 yards out, and it probably is 40 yards out or whatever, but I would say, or at least you have, a better chance of getting to the end zone from from the 20-yard distance. But I would definitely say the red zone has to improve, and it should start this week. So, with that being said, I'm going to jump right into what the Texans need to do to win this game. And like every week, it's just 3 basic things that they have to get going. So, as I mentioned earlier, Buffalo Bills are 2-3. The wins that they won, they beat Minnesota Vikings. They beat the Tennessee Titans last week. I believe the Vikings game was 27-6. The Titans game was 13-12. So yeah, they're sneaking up on these teams, man. Like they snuck these 2 wins, and really the Texans, first thing they need to do is not take this team lightly. Um, I know it's a team that's all over the place. I know on paper you look at the Buffalo Bills, you're like, the Buffalo Bills, the same Bills that was scoring like 6 points or 3 points in a playoff game last season. Those Bills, and you're probably thinking that this should be an easy cakewalk, but understand something, man. You don't know what kind of Bills team you're gonna get. I mean, I'm talking about they beat the Titans last week, 13-12. The week before that, they got blanked by the Packers, 22-0. So you don't know which team you're gonna get. This week you might get a trash Bills team. Next week, or this week you might, get the team that's beating people down senselessly. So another thing about the Bills, as why you should not take them lightly, is the defense is ranked pretty high at the moment. I believe the number 6 ranked defense. So I mean that's cause to like keep teams in the game if you have a good defense. I've seen it plenty of times with the Texans where, especially last year, the offense would, screw off the game or screw off the first half, and here comes the defense, making plays at certain points and just, holding the opposing offense down or keeping them at bay while our own offense tries to catch up. So definitely do not take this team lightly. Second thing, establish dominance as the better team. Of course. Now, 2-3. Yeah, Bills, they're at 2-3. Texans are at 2-3. So yeah, it looks like a record wise, it's a solid matchup. However, talent wise, if you look at both teams, Texans has the talent. I mean, who we have on defense. Those guys. Who we got at quarterback. Deshaun Watson at QB. DeAndre Hopkins. At wideout. Will Fuller, if he's healthy, he's going to be a problem. This new guy, Kiki Kuti, hope I'm saying the name right, but yeah, he's emerging as a slap threat. So definitely, we got weapons on offense. Lamar Miller, hopefully he'll come back this week. He's a threat. Alfred Blue. I like our tight ends that we got going on, and so I think. However high that defense is ranked for the Bills, they're going to have their hands full. So I definitely think the Texans need to force their will on them off through the offense. Defense, of course, it goes without saying. I mean, the Bills are starting to have a rookie quarterback starting, so he's still trying to figure out the offense and know how certain things work. So it's going to be tough for him to do that, especially when J.J. Watt is running 100 miles an hour at you, especially when Jadeveon Clowney is doing the same, either on the same side as Watt or on the opposite side. So Texans they have the talent. They just need to establish themselves as the dominant team. Last thing, win the red zone battles. So look, We got 1 for 6 in the red zone is not going to cut it with any team. Doesn't matter how bad or how young the opponent is. You have to win in the red zone. You have to get more points in the red zone. You have to score touchdowns. Field goal, like I said earlier, field goals are cool, but you have to get touchdowns. That's going to win you games. So if the Texans need to definitely win the red zone. So those three things, if they can just take this team seriously, um, establish dominance as being the better team, and also just win the red zone, Texans got this W in the bag. So yeah, well, that's all I really got for this week. So I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.